Hey, welcome to TopVelocity here, the Lacey podcast. The Lacey podcast here. Sitting here on the recliners in Top V. Just thought we'd do a little podcast. Steven Lacey is back from season. Really exciting season. He went from college baseball to independent minor league baseball. Pretty exciting run to go from a full college season to a wood bat league, Coastal Plains, summer ball, then into the American Association.
Yeah, American Association.
And in Chicago Dogs.
Yeah.
And almost win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so tell people like what it was like. You were going into what year in college and just kind of walk them through the whole process.
So I was in my 6th year of college baseball with COVID and a red shirt, and then just wanted to keep pursuing. So I went to play college summer ball, hopefully get some more looks, hopefully play in front of some scouts and see what could happen with the draft and free agent period. But, it didn't get picked up. So I started making some phone calls and, found a way to get into independent baseball, which has been awesome.
Yeah, and you started the season. Well, actually, let's even go before that. So your junior year, you went and played in the Northwoods League in the summer, right?
Yeah.
And that's really where you started to have a lot of success. Because even before that, let's just go back to South Alabama. Like you were struggling, right?
Yeah.
Let's start from there. Start from that freshman year of like South Alabama, right?
Well, so that would have been my junior year after 2 years.
Oh yeah. Start from the beginning. This is like a long process, and it's good for everybody to hear what he went through.
So I graduated high school in 2017. Went to a small junior college in Mississippi, and at that point, I was finally hitting a growth spurt. I was a little bit of a late bloomer. Had a lot of success my sophomore year. Ended up signing D1 to go to South Alabama, and then my first year there was when COVID hit, and then I lost my mechanics a little bit. Velo started dropping, didn't play a whole lot, so I redshirted and came here the season after COVID, and then I signed with Delta State.
Yeah,
played 2 seasons there.
So your freshman year was in college. It was Holmes Community College, and then you went to South.
Yep,
Alabama. Then you came here. You went to Delta State, but still, even at point of Delta State, you really weren't getting like the innings ultimately that you wanted to get, right?
Yeah, partly my fault. Didn't throw very well in my first couple outings, but as the season went on, started to settle in, get a lot more appearances, and then my sophomore year really kind of blossomed, or my senior year there really kind of blossomed into, what I wanted to be.
Yeah, and Northwoods, I think, really helped.
Yeah, throwing a lot more innings, getting more comfortable on the mound.
Yeah, and you were an all-star in Northwoods, and you threw a good amount of innings. What team did you play for?
The Madison Mallards.
Talk about that experience. What was it like playing in the Northwoods?
So the Northwoods League is a grind. It's supposed to mimic a lot of pro ball. So, my first 8 days there, we played 8 games, and then we had an off day and then played 28 days in a row.
Wow.
So it was a lot of bus rides, a lot of fun though. You kind of get in the pro atmosphere. We averaged 5,000 fans a game. So, you get a little bit of the pro atmosphere as well as like the grind of what professional baseball will be.
Because then you later on played in the Coastal Plains League. What would you say what's it compared to those two leagues?
I think they're both very comparable. They're both very high talented leagues, got a lot of good college players that end up getting signed and drafted. So you're playing against a lot of guys that are going to be professional baseball players one day. That just love the game, want to play, want to get better.
So you say they're the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, someone's trying to pick between the two. What would you say the pros and cons for each one?
There's a lot of pros to both. If you like being up north in the Midwest, go to the Northwoods. If you like being kind of like in the East, on the East Coast, go there. But, good fan bases at both. There was a lot of high talent at both places. So
cool. So Northwoods, and you come back to Delta State, and right, for your second year at Delta State, your senior.
Right.
And you do fairly well, but you did so much better in the summer leagues.
Yeah.
Because then you go to the Coastal Plains and you did really well, didn't you?
Yeah. I was an all-star there too as well.
Right. So why do you think you did so well in these summer leagues, man?
I think the difference between like summer baseball and school baseball is not necessarily the pressure part of it, but more just like there's freedom to do.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about classes. You don't have to worry about classes. You're not waking up early for weights. It's kind of like you get to do everything on your own time.
Yeah.
and just relax and play baseball.
Yeah, I guess so you got to focus just on baseball.
Right.
And then what led to, out of that Coastal Plains League, tell them the process of you getting to the American Association, how that happened. Don't forget the people that helped you along the way.
Yeah. So basically wanted to get drafted and get signed, but cards weren't going the right way for me. So I ended up calling Brant, going, dude, I got to get to Pro Bowl. Like, I'm not done. I got to go somewhere. I got to go play somewhere. And he goes, well, let me call Ardsma.
Yeah, and then we called the DA.
Yeah, David Ardsma.
He has his own podcast now. Go find the DA. I don't even know how to find it, but
yeah. So he called the Chicago Dogs and a couple other teams.
Yeah. Well, David Ardsma played 14 major league teams, 10 years. He didn't get official 8. I think he was just shy of official 8, but he played 10 years in the league, in the big leagues, and wound up finishing his career in the Atlantic League with the Ducks. So Dave's got a lot of respect for Andy Ball, and he's got some good connections there.
Yeah, for sure.
Wouldn't you say his connections help?
Oh yeah.
So shout out to David for helping you. And I think you did him right. I think he was excited. He posted your one of your pictures the other day. So he's, because you tell me when you went out to work with David.
It was the summer of 2021, so 2 years ago.
Yeah. And you went with Keegan and you went with Riggett, Big Rig.
Oh yeah.
And just talk about what do you think you learned from David out there?
I think I learned a lot about like how to go about your business just playing catch, because one thing he told us that kind of stuck with me was like, every day you play catch with a purpose. Like try to throw the pitches to the spot you would want to throw them in game, because if you're a lazy catch play partner, it's going to transition over into the games.
Yeah, David is Mr. Perfectionist. I mean,
as well as like all the stuff he does with TopV Pro and like learning where to throw pitches and stuff.
Right, and he gave you access to his basically him and this guy do that algorithm of how to improve your pitches, where to throw your pitches and stuff like that.
Right.
So then, all right. So now you're in the American Association. What was it like when you first walked on the field for your? Did it feel any different than any other ball you'd play when you walked on that field?
At first, no. There were definitely some nerves of like, gee, I'm going into my first pro game. But once I got settled in, it was kind of, baseball's baseball. Just go out there, have fun, and compete. So it was a good time.
What makes it feel like pro ball besides the fact that you get a paycheck?
Everything's kind of on your own time. Like, you do what you need to do rather than having like a structured, like, we're going to lift at this time. We're going to, like, if you want to be successful, you got to do what you need to do.
But did it feel similar to your summer leagues?
Somewhat. Yeah, just the overall experience of players that's in that league was higher. So you learn a lot from those guys, and you just kind of,
because you had some guys that had some big league time on the team.
Yeah,
that was pretty beneficial. Oh yeah. What are some key things you learned from those guys?
Same thing with like kind of Ardsma, just how to go about your business every day, like making sure you get done what you need to get done, but as well like how to keep the game fun, and also the game side of things, like learning to read hitters better, like use your strengths over their weaknesses if you don't have a pitch that plays well into their weaknesses. Yeah. So but being able to go out there
instead of you get to pro ball, do you feel like that changed in your pitch strategies? Like did you find yourself not trying to just overpower guys, or did you already have that mindset going in?
Yeah, I kind of learned quickly that a 94 fastball gets hit at that level a lot more often than it does in D2 and college baseball.
Yeah. Did you notice there was more power in those bats than, say, your summer leagues or your college league, or no?
Yeah, there was for sure more power, but I think the biggest difference was just was like they don't miss mistakes. In college, you'll get away with a mistake and they might foul it off or roll over. Pro ball, they don't miss mistakes.
Yeah, totally. So when you came in as a relief pitcher because you had been a relief pitcher all through college. Yeah. And then all of a sudden one day you get this offer, this I guess opportunity to be a starting pitcher. When was the last time you had been a starting pitcher to that point?
My senior year of high school in 2017.
So what was it like being a relief pitcher that long and then all of a sudden taking a start?
It was different for sure because, when you're pitching rather than just having to read the game or waiting for the the phone to ring in the bullpen saying, hey, you're in. But, when I first started up there, I just kind of took it as a relief appearance. I went through my daily businesses, like still played catch before BP, played hacky sack, like did the fun things before BP and all that type of stuff. But I kind of treated the first one like a relief appearance because I knew I was probably more likely going to be used as an opener than a starter.
I think it's smart. I was watching Spencer Strider was talking about his mentality this season and about how him and his coach came up with this idea that he's just a closer. Every inning he goes in, he's going to act like he's a closer. So think how badass that is. A starter goes in every inning and he acts like he's a closer.
That's kind of like a good mentality to have because I feel like some of my starts, like I would get into the mundaneness of like, okay, like I'm supposed to be out here for a while, kind of take off, like, and then you realize like, oh, you can't take a pitch off. Like you have to go.
Right. So you going in as a relief pitcher and keeping your relief mentality, you think that helped?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. What made you settle in and get comfortable and then they give you a lot more games as a starter? What do you think was the key besides just success? Like, do you feel like you owned it? Like it felt like that felt like you?
Yeah, I had a lot of success as a starter in high school, but I kind of took it as when I first got there, I had my first appearance and then didn't pitch for 12 days. So then when that opportunity arose, it was like, I'm going to take this and run with it because this is guaranteed innings every week. Like, I get to keep my job if I keep playing well. So, I just kind of wanted to make the most of it. And, we were needing a starter. So I also wanted to help the team win by doing the best I could as a starter, getting deep into games, like hand it over to the bullpen. We had one of the best bullpens in the league, which is why I didn't play much at first.
I know. And then, so y'all go into the playoffs. Tell me what it was like going into the playoffs with an indie ball.
Oh, it was awesome. It's something like just even professional baseball is completely different than college, like everybody celebrates. I mean, you celebrate in college, but there's only 3 rounds to it. You don't have a conference tournament. You don't have a regional, a super regional. Like, it's a lot less games to get to that point. But, each game matters. So everybody took it that way, and it was a lot of fun.
So what's your aspirations going in your off season right now?
Take a few weeks off, let the body just heal from a very long season, and then just kind of get back after it, get ready for next season. Hopefully, sign an indie or affiliated contract. But if that doesn't work out, go play well again in indie ball and try to work for that next year.
How did you leave it with the team? Were they happy in what you did, and you feel like you'll find a place there next year?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I had a good relationship with the coaches and the owner. So
yeah, and they just got to basically reach back out to you and re-sign a contract with you. Well, that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. I'm excited because we can work on this off season, and I know that probably won't get started for maybe a month from now. Here, you're going to go up to San Diego, work with Top B in San Diego because your sister's out there. Yeah, and then we'll see you back in here. And I think if y'all are watching and you want to see what he does this off season, we'll share with it as much as we can. I did a video today of going through a little bit of his evaluation, measuring his joint mobility and talking about common things you see in joint mobility after season wear and tear. We looked at, he did some jumps today. Yeah, of course, everything's down, right? You come out of a long season, almost 100 innings, and you're not who you were when you left.
Right.
I mean, what's that feeling like? Tell guys, what does that feel like? You work really hard in an off season, and then you go out and you reap the rewards, but you play a long season and you come in and your body's just worn down and everything's down. Like how do you deal with that?
I think the biggest thing is just knowing that that's natural. Like, it's going to happen over a long season. It is definitely frustrating coming back and not being anywhere close to where I used to be.
Yeah.
Coming off of like
But at the end, does that tell you need to do better in season, or what are you thinking?
For sure, try to keep up with things a little better in season, but also, like, I'm higher than I was when I started TopVelocity. So knowing that I'm already at a higher baseline and being able to build off of that's encouraging because I know I can get it back quickly. I know I can work hard, get back to where I was, make it farther than where I was in the training and stuff like that. So,
well, look, I'm gonna ask a selfish question. Like, so talk about TopVelocity's impact on your career. Like, talk about, don't just be cliche-ish. Talk about like specifics of at this point it did this. I needed this. It helped me with this. Like, give kind of people an understanding of what TopVelocity does, as opposed to just a place to come and get on a podcast. Like, what does TopVelocity help you do?
So I think one thing that's helped me a lot is just being able to talk with like guys like Orzi and Keegan, not only learn because they got to the professional level before I did and they're an affiliated ball, so still continuing to learn from them. But, you know, when I got here, I needed velocity. I was 88, 90, hit 87, I think, in my camp. And I needed to get, if I wanted to play a long career and play professional baseball, I had to get into that 3 to 5 range or higher. But kind of gave me a routine. Like, I'd never had a routine or something to follow to know how to get to those steps. It all just kind of came naturally up until that point. So it helped me learn, like, okay, like if I really want to do this, I got to work hard at it. And I've got to follow a routine, and like just having a structured routine that, you know, I came in skeptical at first, like most people probably are. Like, can he really get me 5 miles an hour? And then luckily I did, but just being able to follow that routine, go through the checklist. And
I remember when you hit 93 in here, you were so fired up. Yeah. And you've been up to 98 now, right?
Yeah.
Or higher?
I hit 98 in here and then 97 in game so far.
Yeah. So you've been up to 98 in that one day. You hit 93, like, what, 3 months, 4 months into the 3 months into this thing?
I think it took me like 2 weeks.
Oh, it did?
Maybe a month, maybe a full month.
Yeah. And then, so, I mean, it's such a great climb. I mean, it was technically like you're in here 97, 98, and then you leave, or 87, 88, and you leave like sitting pretty easy, 95, 96, right?
Yeah, for the first like season, because I mean, it's been a long 2 years since that rest I was in here.
And that's as a relief pitcher. You lost some velo as a starter.
Yeah, but going in relief, yeah, like my first year at Delta State, I pretty much sat 4 to 6, up to 7, and then going into that Northwoods League season, I was 3 to 5, up to 7.
Credit to a lot of your success.
I mean, having velo definitely helped.
Yeah,
you know, able to blow.
Wait, how well would you have done if you wouldn't have gotten that velo?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if I would have even been here in this position right now had I not gained velo. Because, you know, nowadays the 95 is the new 90. Everybody wants to see hard numbers. But, you know, I think I would have adapted and tried to learn how to pinpoint pitches better. But
you think you'd have got the same opportunity?
I don't know. Probably not, you know.
Well, good. So, I mean, that's hard work. I mean, it wasn't easy getting that velo. Like, tell them what you had to do to get that kind of velo.
Basically, Brent told me my mechanics were, for better words, a pile of dog poop. But, so working on mechanics, but also like knowing, okay, like he gives you things about like MLB average weight's 225. I came in weighing 195. So I was like, all right, I need to gain weight. Like I need to get stronger.
You got to 235. 235, yeah.
But yeah, just getting stronger.
But how hard was it to get, you didn't just get stronger, you became, you know, very elite as far as in baseball with your strength, with your cleans. And your cleans got up to what, 300, right?
Yeah, 300.
That's, I don't think, you can count them on the hand how many had hit 300 in here. Tell them how long it takes to build that kind of strength. I think a lot of people come in here in 3 weeks, they're frustrated, they're not lifting like you.
I think, so when I started my camp, because I did CrossFit in high school, I kind of had the basic mechanics of how to do a clean down, but I think when I came in, it was like 235 as a PR.
Yeah.
And it took me, I think I went crazy when I hit 265 for the first time, which was like 7 months later. So it took a long time. It's just a steady progress. Like each
I mean, 300 took like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, it took this November will be 3 years.
So it took 2 years.
Yeah. It took a long time.
Yeah, and then like, and at that point, remember that day you came in, you hit a 300 clean, you hit a 95 flat ground separation drill. Yeah. Did you find your velo had a strong correlation to where your power was that day?
Yeah, for sure. Because as the season goes on, like, you know, go in the weight room, throw on cleans, 225 starting to feel heavy.
Yeah.
It used to feel light, and then you start seeing your velo go down as the season goes on. And, you know, like I said, it's been 2 years since I've had a full 4-month off season or whatever, but.
And that's really what it is. But I know it's hard going from relief to starter. Is it trying to get the time to put your lifts in the season?
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome, man. So, well, look, super excited for this off season. We have a lot to do, and you'll hopefully we'll show a lot of stuff of what you're doing. Also with Orzi and Keegan, and maybe we can do another podcast when they get here so we can all talk. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, cool.